the SmackDown recap with Cody and Roman and The Rock and the whole thing that started the turmoil, it came off better not only in the with their world-class editing facility where they could put it together, but also because, they're, as we said, they're starting to leave that wiggle room. And then Seth Franklin Rollins limp danced to the ring. He's trying to do whatever it is that he does on his entrance with his bad knee, and at the same time show people he has a bad knee because he's wearing the brace on over his pants. And it just looks like an old man that's constipated going to the ring. It looks odd, does it not?
Yeah, I mean, his whole general thing is to look odd. I mean, he has giant shoulder pads like Bette Midler or something. I don't know what the hell's going on over there, but...
Remember the guy from Talking Heads?
David Byrne.
Yes.
The other thing is he's kind of shown in the last several weeks in several segments, Cody, Drew McIntyre, different things, that once you get past the whole, I'm a revolutionary, like, you're not. Where's the revolution? Where's the vision? Where's all these things? It's just you're saying these things. When he's serious, he's really good.
Yes.
It's all this other, goofy stuff, but we're getting more of the serious Rollins lately, and I like it.
But I'm wondering why that he's not then, because Drew's getting serious, and Cody's in his own way serious as a heart attack, and Roman, and why is Seth not stepping? He's still doing some of the, whatever it is, but then he will get serious, and you want to listen, but I wish he'd go ahead and come out and sell the fucking leg and talk about how that he's not 100%, but by God, he's going to fucking succeed. A little gravitas to the situation. But anyway, he kind of tried to come back with Rollins, or with Reigns rather, talking about his big pops. And as soon as he referenced SmackDown, they started booing. And the Cody chants, and they had the "We Want Cody" signs, and says that, well, I want Cody too. So he called Cody out, and Cody does the big entrance, and they get the big chants. And now the crowd is chanting, Rocky sucks, we want Cody. And one of the signs is fire Dwayne. And
I told you this would happen.
Well, you don't have to sound like a goddamn nagging wife about the water bill, for heaven's sake.
I told you have that sink running too long.
Well, I had to brush my teeth, honey, once a week.
You could turn off the sink while you're brushing and turn it back on when you're done.
You've had practice at this.
I've heard this speech, yes.
But anyway, so they've accomplished something here. I'm not sure what. But then Seth wanted an answer. He needs the match as much as Cody does. The fans boo. And Seth has to know that he's better than the last time that they faced, because Cody's beaten him 3 times, right? It was 3. It was, yeah.
Including with a torn pec with one arm.
Yes. So Seth says, are you going to fight me at WrestleMania? The crowd boos, and Drew's music plays. And Drew comes out and says, I speak for everybody when I say, what the hell? What the hell are you doing? And he proceeds to tell fucking, the people what we're all thinking. Cody, you got to finish your story. And the people, yay! And Drew's got the T-shirt on with the tombstone of, R.I.P. CM Punk's WrestleMania main events. They're still working that deal. And Drew wants Seth at WrestleMania so he can win that title and blah, blah, blah. And then so Drew said, big pitch to Cody, don't let your dad down. And then Seth tells Drew, don't be a prick. I've beaten you twice. And then Drew,
go ahead.
Let me
stop you there. When was the last time we heard the word prick at 8 o'clock on USA Network?
Well, I think, with the headlines of the past few weeks, I believe we've probably raised the bar on language a little bit at this point. But this was great because that's when Seth said, I've beaten you twice, Drew. Drew says, well, Cody's beat you 3 times. And I think Drew is becoming one of the best promos in the WWE, but that also means that if Seth has beaten Drew twice and Cody's beaten Seth 3 times, and Cody ought to be able to kick his shit out of Drew, doesn't it? But nevertheless, that's why maybe the one-loss records are not always a good idea in wrestling. But in this case, it works. So anyway, Drew's story is it's time for him to take it from there, and he just headbutts Seth and gets in a fight with Cody. And Cody nails Drew, and he takes a bump to the floor, and Drew's laughing about the whole thing that he's created. So they're still keeping us interested in what the fuck's going to go on with all of these people. And nobody had yet made a declarative statement about what, if anything, they were going to be doing at WrestleMania at that point that we were waiting for. Correct?
Correct. Really good segment, really weird, abrupt ending to it.
Well, they had to get out of there.
And they certainly
did.
Running
late.
But I mean, the problem is between stuff like this, the other segments we've seen recently, CM Punk, again, these guys, the Bloodline stuff, and then what we're going to talk about later, the WrestleMania kickoff press conference wasn't really much of a press conference. This stuff does a better job of selling you to want to see the matches on the big events than the actual matches do.
Yes.
And the matches in between these segments on the shows, they're not driving away too many people, but they do nothing to really get you invested. It's these segments on WWE TV lately that have been just incredible. It's almost like Game of Thrones. There are all these different parties. Everyone wants the belt. Everyone wants the throne. They'll work with each other. They'll stab each other in the back. There are all these main event figures right now on that stage, whether it's Roman, The Rock, Cody, Rollins, CM Punk, even though he's injured, he's still in that mix. Orton, McIntyre. Maybe right there or a notch below, you have Sammy, you have Uso, you have AJ, LA Knight. You know, the dynamic, the interpersonal dynamics they're displaying, this is the way to do American pro wrestling right now. It's these kind of segments.
Yeah, well, and as you mentioned, the matches in between, they're kind of, they use the guys that aren't ready for these big talking segments and kind of auditions to see if people like anything about them, and then they can get over and move up into the fucking talking segments. So it's like, boy, as soon as you get to where you're a good enough wrestler that you don't have to wrestle, you got it made.